Third approach. The island was barely visible through the rain. Fuel gauges were deep in the red. My hands were holding a chart, but my brain was screaming that we were about to ditch the North Atlantic. Then I hear it. The silence. Not actual silence. The engines were roaring. The weather was hammering the fuselage. But in the plane, nobody was saying a word. That moment, that terrifying professional silence, taught me more about writing thriller fiction than any craft book ever could. This is the scariest mission I ever flew, and it wasn't even in combat. We were headed home from deployment. We spent the last 6 months either in Sicily or Djibouti. We were either patrolling over Libya or hunting pirates off the Somali coast. In our flight home, we were in our P-3 Orion, this 4-engine turboprop from the 1960s, and we were stopping in the Azores to refuel before heading back to the States. Routine. We'd done it a dozen times. Except this time, about 2 hours over the Atlantic, our flight engineer discovers that we have a fuel leak. Not a huge problem normally. As long as you discover the leak in time, you just divert to a closer airport and fix it. But we didn't catch it in time. The problem was, we didn't have enough fuel to divert anywhere else. It's the Azores or the ocean. Those are the options. But when we started our approach, the weather was absolute shit. Rain, low ceiling, wind shear. The kind of conditions where on a normal day, with full tanks, you'd go anywhere else. But we didn't have anywhere else. For the first approach, we come in hot, the visibility is garbage. We can't find the runway. Wave off, circle again, burn more fuel, try again. The flight engineer is watching the fuel gauges and reporting them to the pilot. They're not just low, they're in the red. The kind of red where you're doing the math in your head. How many minutes do we have? How long can we stay airborne? The pilot cut him off from the fuel reports because it didn't make any difference now. We had one more approach, maybe two if we're lucky. Nobody says what "if we're lucky" means, we all know. Second approach, we find the runway, we line up, but we're drifting left. Wave off, the pilot says, his voice steady. But I hear an edge. We're circling around again. The fuel gauges are screaming at us. Needles so deep in the red, they're practically falling off now. And that's when I notice it, the silence. The pilot's hands are on the controls. The co-pilot's backing him up. The flight engineer is monitoring every gauge. I'm trying to remain as calm as possible as I repeat the airport's approach and departure instructions. It's like we're back in the simulator on a training flight. But nobody's acknowledging what we all know. If we don't nail this landing, we're ditching in the North Atlantic in a storm. We're terrified, every single one of us. Nobody's showing it. We're just doing our jobs. My hands are working my station, running my checklists, monitoring systems. Everything's functioning as it should. But in my head, I'm running through ditching procedures. I'm thinking about how cold the North Atlantic is. I'm wondering if we can even swim to the life rafts in these seas. None of us say a word. Third approach. This is it. The island's there. Then it's not. Then it's there again through the rain. I can hear the pilots breathing over the intercom, controlled, measured, but I can see his white knuckles on the controls. The runway appears, just a strip of concrete in the storm. Gear down, his voice is steady. I watch the gear indicators. Green lights. We're committed now. The aircraft shuddered. We were dropping fast. Too fast? I didn't know. My brain was screaming that we were going to hit hard, but my hands were working the checklist like it was a training flight. The co-pilot calls out altitude. 500 feet. 300. 100. The runway rushes up. The wheels hit pavement. Hard. But we're down. We made it. And then, only then, does someone speak. The co-pilot says, "Good job." That's it. That's all we said about almost dying in the North Atlantic. We climbed out of that aircraft. My legs were shaking. Actually shaking. But the pilot's hands had been rock steady on the controls that entire approach. That's when it hit me. We'd been terrified and competent at the same time. That silence, the gap between what you're doing and what you're feeling, that's where thriller tension lives. Not in the emergency itself, but what your character doesn't say after. Dennis Lehane does this in every crime novel. His characters go through hell, and then they sit in their car in silence. That's when readers feel the weight of it. When I wrote Jeff Coburn in Redacted, I kept coming back to that landing in the Azores. I tried to portray Jeff, just like the pilot, whose hands were on the controls, but his brain was screaming. He stayed calm and professional. Despite that, that gap between competence and terror, that's fear worth writing. Because here's the truth, your protagonist isn't unshakable. They're just silent about the shaking. Give readers access to that internal scream, while showing the external calm. That's what makes thriller characters feel real. So here's what I want you to take away from this. If you're writing thrillers, especially military thrillers or crime fiction, anything with professionals under pressure, don't write your characters as unshakable. Write them as silent. Give us the gap. Show us the fear they're not showing each other. Let the reader in on what's happening in their head while their hands stay steady. Because that's the truth. Competence isn't calm. Competence is doing the job while you're terrified. And that's compelling. That's the kind of character readers remember. I'm still figuring this out. I'm writing these novels and learning from the authors I admire, and trying to bring something authentic from my own experiences to my work. If you want to follow along in that journey, make sure you like and subscribe to Fireside Writer. And if this video helped you think differently about how to write fear, leave a comment telling me about a time you were scared but had to stay professional. What did that silence feel like for you? So thanks for being here. There's new videos every week on Fireside Writer, and I'll see you next time.